Montreal. Well, it's a lower bowl sellout here at Skydome, anticipating a crowd of between 35 and 40,000 for the showdown between the arch rivals in the Golden Horseshoe, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Toronto Argonauts. Hi everybody, Chris Cuthbert along with our resident offensive coordinator Chris Walby. No one a bigger advocate of the running game than Mr. Walby. We expect that to play a big factor tonight, as it did on Labor Day when Troy Davis rushed for 233 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, that might have been the best football game I had the opportunity to watch all football season, and had two of the best backs, Avery, and I tell you what, now you got Troy Davis, who had the game of his life, 233 yards rushing, 32 carries. I mean, he is the guy that just gets it done. Led the CFL rushing touchdowns with 10. Led the CFL rushing yards with over 1,600. You know what? He is in the huddle today, and he doesn't talk a lot, but I guarantee you, he's whispering to Danny McManus saying, give me the ball.
Well, his stats did the talking this year. John Avery likes to talk. Didn't back it up with a vintage Avery year, but I think the slate's clean now, and maybe he can do some damage in the postseason.
Two things. First, we're indoors, no excuses, great turf. Now, secondly, the fact is he's a guy that wants to carry the ball, and against Hamilton, he's only had 3 100-yard rushing games all season. Well, hey, 2 of them have been against the Ticats. He can get it done. You know, he's got a bit of a groin pull, could have played last week against Montreal, got his 1,000 yards rushing, would have got a bonus. You know what? I like the fact he didn't play, and I like the fact he's healthy, ready to go against the Ticats today.
Contrary to popular belief, Chris Walby not a member of the Wiggles, but he does have the Gillette game notes.
Oh, the Wiggles, I like it. I'm going to that concert. I tell you what, if I'm looking for Hamilton in the offense, do you hear the bell ringing? It's the main event. Gentlemen, the offensive coordinator, Jamie Barisi in one corner at 0-2-1 against Mitch Stubler in the other corner, 2-0-1. Gentlemen, come out fighting. May the best man win. On defense, hey, no pressure here. It's all over. You must pressure Damon Allen and keep him in the pocket. You know what? In 3 games, this Ticat defense has sacked the Toronto quarterbacks 9 times. On the other side, let's take a look at Toronto. On offense, Damon DeMiles, a very dangerous combo. Little play on Avery right there. These 3 guys, gentlemen, are the key for this team to advance to the Eastern Final against the Montreal Alouettes. And on defense, TNT, and I'm not talking dynamite, even though this back is dynamite, you must try to neutralize Troy Davis.
There is the coach of the year in waiting, Greg Marshall, the architect of this storybook Ticat season from 1-17 to 9-8-1. Ready for his first CFL postseason game, and there's Pinball Clements, who registered his first 10-win season as a head coach and feels his team's capable of winning 3 straight in November. And as Pinball said yesterday, these are 2 teams that love to hate each other. And there is a lot of that love in the air here at Skydome tonight. It might be a good thing for Hamilton that they win the toss and will receive Noel Prefontaine to kick things off. Remember, their last meeting, the Argos returned to kickoff, the opening kickoff for a touchdown. This is Chris Martin up to the 35-yard line, and we are underway. So Danny Mack will lead the Ticats out onto the field. 39 years of age, the comeback player, I think, of this CFL season.
You know, they might have to put an award or institute an award after this year, because here's a guy that basically was washed up. Everybody, even the taxi cab drivers in Ticat Bill said he should retire. Look at the season he's come back with.
Here's Yeast with some trouble, and he'll be swamped at the line of scrimmage as a little misdirection turned into mishandling of the football as Yeast bumped into McManus, and it was a disaster from the get-go.
Well, I like the fact, you know what? No sense saving plays. Let's pull everything out of the playbook. Little play action pass and a little bit of a reverse to Craig Yeast. Timing not working there. Very fortunate to come up with that football. Now it's second and a long 10.
This building alive, and McManus will have to fight the crowd, calling the signals. 2nd and 10, and out in the flat. Incomplete, I believe. Mike Morreale stretched up for the ball, and no catch. And already the tempers are boiling over.
Well, 60 minutes of football and go home. Troy Davis, big factor today. Danny McManus, and a guy you don't talk a lot about but could have a big game, Julian Rowland at the fullback position. Receiving crew, boy, I tell you, these guys can get it done. 2 1,000-yard receivers, DJ Flick and Craig Yeast lead this group. Archie Amerson also back in the lineup. Woodard, Baker, Coulter, Smith, and Hack, an East All-Star for the 5th time.
Jamie Borum, the University of Manitoba product, in his first postseason game with the kick. And there is Livingston, always dangerous. A flag down on the first return. Ticats complained bitterly about a lack of flags on the kick return touchdowns 2 weeks ago. And they contain Livingston just 3 yards on the return. And already punches being thrown. And remember, Labor Day, 4 players ejected.
Well, the reason the punches are being thrown is they're not throwing the punches at the player. Now, Livingston has taken exception to his treatment, but what they're trying to do is punch the football out. That's all that is. That's a good play by Wayne Shaw. Get in there, uppercut the football, create a turnover for your team.
And Wayne Shaw was one of the 4 that was ejected on Labor Day. So the uppercut is called, and the ball marched to midfield. So terrific field position to start.
Well, you know
for Damon Allen.
You can't do that. We always talked about that. This is a big game. Let the players play the football game. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be physical. Don't throw the corny penalties.
At the 54, Argos go to work. Allen in trouble and down. Adriano Belli, the Toronto native, with the first sack of the game. And remember, the Ticats led the CFL along with Saskatchewan with 49.
Well, 49 sacks, and you always talk about the 2 guys on the outside. That's Montfort and Cheatwood. But the fact is, they do their job. They keep in the inside, and then the man in the middle, Adriano Belli, comes up the middle, makes the play. Take a look at Baron Shea with a little illegal contact on Robert Baker across the middle. Lucky that flag didn't get thrown there, Chris.
Belli comes out. Rob Hitchcock checks in as a nickelback on 2nd and long. And Allen steps up under pressure from Baranchia, and a flag down as the pass falls incomplete.
I think he's going to call that for throwing the ball over the line of scrimmage. And that's exactly what they're going to call against Damon Allen. Good call by the official on the sideline.
Bud Steen in charge of this Eastern Semi.
Pass. Toronto number 9, quarterback was across the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Argos had scored on their opening drives in all 3 regular season games against Hamilton, but not here.
We take a look as he just crosses over the 45-yard line, delivers a football. The veteran that he is tries to get back, but the official on the sideline sees it, crosses it, throws the flag, and brings on the punt team.
Jason Goss has dropped deep to accept the Prefontaine punt. And Prefontaine playing with a pulled oblique muscle in his hip. Took last week off. And the left footer booms this one. Inside the 15. Here's Goss, brought down immediately. There's the leading special teams tackler all season long, Ray Mariusz, with a big early special teams tackle here.
Did you see it?
It's close.
I'll keep looking.
It's good.
You don't like it?
No. It's too,
Slopey?
yes. I love you.
I love you too.
Come together with Couples Plan from Rogers Wireless. Couples talk free from only $35 a month.
I give you my word.
Keeping our word is standard. Standard Life.
So long, ordinary toothbrush. Oral-B has created the new Professional Care 8000. It pulsates and oscillates to loosen plaque and sweep it away. Teeth get twice as clean and your whole mouth gets healthier. Why use anything else? The new Oral-B Professional Care 8000.
You smell food?
You okay?
Yeah. Maybe we should stay out here a couple more days.
Okay.
Get as far away as you can. The four-wheel drive 255 horsepower Pilot from Honda.
Advantage defense after the opening possessions for these two teams, just the way Michael O'Shea likes it, playing in his 13th career playoff game.
The leader of that defense, 89 tackles, second on the team to Kevin Ivan, who led the CFL with 110.
McManus will swing it out. Julian Radlin. First contact made by Clifford Ivory. Kevin Ivan, the triple nominee and top defensive player, in on the stop as well.
That's a good job. You got to try and mix up this defense, led by Jonathan Brown with 8 quarterback sacks. And what about Noah Cantor in the middle? 10 quarterback sacks, previous best only 4. Fletcher, O'Shea, Ivan, and Bonner. This is a mobile, very active, and a very good linebacking crew. And a defensive backfield that really doesn't get a lot of credit that it does deserve. How about Younger on that short side corner?
5 for Radlin, 2nd and 5. McManus nearly picked off. And that has been such a topic this week with 30 interceptions on the season, and Orlando Steinauer almost had an early one here.
Well, Steinauer took a chance. He keyed on Archie Amerson, who's back into the lineup, just going to go over the middle. Just going to cross as he comes across, and you see 21. Orlando Steinauer breaks on that football. Archie Amerson kind of going down, expecting the ball to be low. 21 Steinauer makes the move and almost comes up with the first turnover of the game.
They told us yesterday that Amerson might have trouble with that comeback route because of the knee surgery a couple of weeks ago. Pick your poison here. Well, now it's just Arlen Bruce back. They showed Livingston early, but he moved up and bore him with a punt that lands at midfield. And contact before Bruce ever touched the ball, and we'll get another scrap here as Marcus Spencer, the special teams captain, in a duel with Arlen Bruce. Now either Spencer felt that Bruce touched the ball, or he just decided it was worth 5 yards to take a run.
I think that's exactly what that latter of your two explanations there, Chris. The fact is, he's already within the 5 yards. The ball is bouncing. The worst thing it can be is 5 yards, but you still got to let him touch the football. He goes right after Arlen Bruce, takes him down. You're lucky because you might get a roughing, and that's a lot more yardage tacked on than the 5 yards it would have been for no yards.
So what happened to all this talk from the coaches yesterday about discipline? Remember Labor Day, over 400 yards in penalties between these teams. I know the Argos were admonished by their coach before and after their meetings yesterday, and Greg Marshall felt just as strongly that they had to keep things contained.
Well, remember this. You've got Greg Marshall, who is not exactly the most docile individual I've ever met in my life. Pretty high-strung, pretty emotional, wears his feelings on his sleeve, and I think his team feeds off him.
No yards. Hamilton, number 4. Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 4. First down.
And that's exactly what we talked about. It's smart. You know what? He had the first part right. You got 5, it's bouncing. You know that the most you're going to get penalized is 5, but just let him. You got him surrounded. Sit back, let him pick up the football, and then crunch him.
Spencer's saying he took a punch to the jaw, but it went undetected, and this is a pretty good shot against the Tiger Cats as they'll march it down to the 26-yard line.
They basically gave him field goal position right off to start this drive.
So Damon Allen with nice field position to work with. Trying to get the Argos on the board first. Pumps, looks deep, and Tony Miles got crossed up in the pattern with his quarterback, and it falls incomplete.
Now, Tony Miles is going to bring it back to the middle of the football field, and Damon Allen thought he was going to go to the corner. He threw it to the corner. And Arabin Justin was the only player that actually had an opportunity to come down with that football. Just again, a miscommunication with Tony Miles, who's back in the lineup, had missed a number of games, so you would think the timing's still not there between Allen and Miles.
Slow start for the offenses. The Argos second last in scoring this year, last in yards offensively. 2nd and 10. Allen over the middle has a completion. There is a flag down as Arlen Bruce has the first down pending the penalty.
Well, the penalty was thrown deep in the secondary, and unless it's a rub against the Argonauts, it's going to be a first down.
Major foul, face mask, Hamilton 24, first down.
Now Bernard Cox is going to get a legal face mask, or hands to the face mask, as he's doing the shuck with the receiver. There's Robert Baker, and he's just kind of walling him off. I really don't see the penalty right there. Might have grabbed him a little bit on the route earlier.
So down to the 7.
The penalty's a big factor in this drive already.
1st and goal, Toronto. Chad Folk, the center. Shotgun snap. Allen into the end zone. Looks for Bruce. He's got it. Touchdown. Arlen Bruce fought off Arabin Justin, who thought there should have been offensive pass interference.
Chris, just a scenario where you have both players seeing the football, and they both fight for it. And I tell you what, the stronger man won in this battle. Arlen Bruce shows, look at that. It almost looks like he pushes off, but he puts him in a good situation by using the backside of him to push Justin behind him, and then he's the only one that has an actual opportunity to come and catch that football. It's good positioning of his body on that play.
Prefontaine adds the extra point. The Argos have struck first on a touchdown catch by Arlen Bruce III.
Sorry.
You didn't put on winter tires. Sure glad I've got on my MotoMaster Nordic winter tires from Canadian Tire. The Nordic was created for winter alone, with no compromises made for other seasons. Its tread was designed for improved traction, with up to twice as many lateral biting edges as a leading all-season tire. Look at the difference when braking on snow. At 60 kilometers per hour, the Nordic winter tires stop 13 feet shorter than the all-season tire. And when braking on ice, they stop 29 feet shorter than the all-season tires. I sure noticed the difference when I've got them on. So keep your family safer this winter with Nordic winter tires. On sale from only $39.99 each. And to protect your rims, consider replacing them with winter rims, also on sale from $39.99 each. Now that's different, and only at Canadian Tire.
I'll start with you.
Is that the Williams boys again?
No. I think it's Canada.
The new Citi Petro-Points MasterCard is here, and Canadians are celebrating. Every time you use the card, you'll instantly save 2 cents a liter at Petro-Canada. Reward yourself, all with no annual fee. Apply at Petro-Canada today.
Arlen Bruce made his Argo debut on Labor Day, and he puts the first points of this Eastern semifinal on the board. 3 plays and a penalty-aided Argo drive. as the Ticats' lack of discipline costs them early.
30 yards is a lot of real estate to give up in this game.
Fontaine kicks it off, and again, Chris Martin from his 10. And Martin, unable to shake it outside, finally game tackled at the 31 as we take another look at the Argo major score.
Remember, Arlen Bruce was an all-star wide receiver in 2002. Now we're going to run it here. They're just going to rush 4 guys. But as we get farther into this play, I want to show you something. He brings Arabin Justin into the middle of the football field to give him more room on the sideline. Now freeze it there. Look at this. One receiver's looking this way, and look who's got his eye on the football. Arlen Bruce has the best angle on that football. It's a good play by him to drive to the middle of the football field and give him more room on the sideline.
One of the 3 kids in that Hamilton secondary in there since mid-season. Here's Davis with his first carry, wrapped up by O'Shea at the 34, and Troy Davis, the CFL rushing champ, has a short gain on his first carry.
Well, short game, but you know he can get it done. He is the man. He is the key to this offense. You must have a running game. It's hard to believe that the same team in the first 3-4 weeks didn't have a running identity. And all of a sudden they decided, Chris, we got to get a running game going. We got good offensive linemen. We got one heck of a back.
It was actually their first loss of the year against Toronto that convinced them to go to the running game. They have to pass here on 2nd and long and convert as Mike Morreale, off a career regular season, has the catch and a first down.
Well, Mike Morreale, who finds the hole in the zone and sits down, and the ball is beautifully delivered by Danny McManus. It's quick, 1-2, throw to the spot. That's 2 guys working together, knowing exactly where they have to be on the football field.
11 on the completion to Morreale, who had 75 catches in the regular season. First down, back to Davis, nothing doing. Met right in the hole by Jonathan Brown and Eric England.
Well, Brown and England really pitched inside, and it's a gap control, and as a result, as they come back inside, see, beats Woodward 69's block. That doesn't give any opportunity for Troy Davis to even find a seam to kind of shoot through there.
Cats are going to need better first down production than we've seen so far. 2nd and 10. 5 receivers out, and McManus down. Eric England, who led the CFL a year ago in sacks, has McManus down.
If you can't beat this offensive line one-on-one, you got to twist. You got to try and put this offensive line on different levels. Watch how 95 ramps. He's going to come, and he's going to come around inside. As he comes around, he's not picked up by the inside guys. As a result, he gets pressure. He forces Danny McManus to pull the ball down, and it results in a sack. Only their 2nd in 3 games against this Ticat team.
Hamilton led the league in protecting their quarterback, just 10 sacks all year. Gorham. Here's Livingston at his 30. Livingston gets a block. And Livingston up to the 50-yard line. So 20 on the return.
Rhythm and weep. Now get your gear off, loser.
Red, I don't want to show my, peanut in public.
M&M's. They're a handful of chocolate candy.
What are you gonna do with your energy?
Argos with the lead and the football. And a double tight end formation. John Avery's first carry up near midfield, and Avery has 6 yards. And again, as we mentioned off the top of the show, best 2 games of the year, best 2 runs of the season, both against these Ticats for John Avery.
Well, I thought there was another interesting stat that we really didn't get to, and that's the fact that against the Ticats, the average is over 6 yards a carry. Against every other team in the CFL, it's over 4. So he really does have good success against them, but you got to give that offensive line. It doesn't get a lot of credit. They're doing the job.
2nd and 4. for the Argonauts, who stay in twin tights. Avery made the first man miss, but won't get to the first down stick. Joe Montford with the first contact, but Avery slipped out of his grasp.
Well, Joe Montford's just going to come from the bottom of your screen, and he beats the block of the tight end. I believe it's Mike Mihalik, who's got his wall off Montford and say, you know what, I know you're quick, 53, but if you're going to make the tackle, I'm going to make you go the long way. You cannot allow him to beat you across your face, because that disrupts the play, and that was a great play by him, and now it forces a punting situation.
Three-time top defensive player, ranked second to Tim Cheatwood, his teammate, in league sacks this year. That dynamic duo with 27 between the two of them. Here's Goss inside his 5. Looking for some room and nothing opening up. And again, Ray Mariusz with the tackle, always dominant on special teams. Well, go back 17 years with Al Bruno on the sidelines for Hamilton. Bob Obilovich for the Argos. The last time, unbelievably, these two teams met in a postseason game in Toronto, and the Argos prevailed on that day. Last game between these two in the playoffs was in '99, a game won handily by the Tiger Cats on their way to a Grey Cup title. So once again, the Ticats start in a hole, and field position has been a story in this first quarter. McManus looking further downfield, and Tunkara in front of Adrian Smith with the catch. Looked like McManus was just going to swing that out, but wanted a little bit more.
Well, he had Archie Averson over the middle wide open, but again, Danny McManus feels that he can complete passes. He's not deterred by opposing players being in the same vicinity. He throws it, and as you say, Adrian Smith is there. Look at Clifford Ivory. He's over top, but again, nice throw. Great concentration by Tunkara to come up with that catch.
14 yards, Davis inside. Tough man to bring down, but so far the Ticat running game has not netted the results they're looking for.
They may have to start spreading this defense out, because every time they're going to run this football, everybody's inside the box on the defense. You see Kevin Ivan, Mike O'Shea, Fletcher, they're all between the tackles. What you have to do as an offense end is throw the ball to the sidelines. Maybe some quick hitches. Spread the linebackers out. You'll have a little bit more success coming out the middle with the running game.
Davis just met 3 of those active 4 linebackers on one play. Over the middle, ball tipped. And McManus couldn't hook up with Morreale. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, they really like to bring the linebackers, and I believe it's Antonius Bonner, number 10, is going to come from the far side. But Mike O'Shea in the middle gets his hand up. Good pressure from the outside. Mike O'Shea is coming on the blitz. He loves to play that. He'll sit there, and what he's doing, he's spying the back. Back goes out, he releases. Back stays in the block. He just occupies the offensive lineman.
Played his 200th regular season game last week against Montreal. He didn't get the week off, but already in outstanding postseason form.
Well, the guys that didn't get the week off just split their checks.
Warren blasts another. Arlen Bruce back at his 34. And good coverage there by the Ticats. And no flags. 3:34 left, first quarter at Skydome.
Mazda 6 sedan. Canada's best new family vehicle. Now has a family all its own.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Mazda 6 Sport and Mazda 6 Sport Wagon. Rounding out an award-winning lineup designed to hold the road and whatever else you've got.
Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Inside that digital camera is something familiar, a battery. And while you might think all batteries are the same, consider what happened here last winter when a heart stopped and his life depended on a Zoll defibrillator. And when Zoll chooses a battery, They trust Duracell. So whether it's saving a moment or saving a life, it just has to work. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
Canadian Club, now on special.
Canadian Club, now on special at the LCBO.
Is it possible to actually get Wendy's big, delicious, seasoned, all-white meat home-style chicken strips home? Yes, but why delay the joy? Wendy's, it's better here.
Well, for one night only, Comedy Friday shows are sliding over to Sunday. All the big laughs 48 hours later, Sunday night, starting at 8 o'clock. That's because we've got Friday night football. There's an interesting concept, might work. There's Augie Baranchia, the Canadian rookie middle linebacker. I wonder if he thought when training camp started that he'd be the starting middle linebacker against the hated Argos in an Eastern playoff game. Argos start with the pitch to Avery. Trying to get outside. John Avery. And he's pulled down from behind. Up across midfield. Tim Cheatwood had to come all the way across and pull down the dangerous John Avery.
Well, you talked about Augustin Baranchia. He just gets caught. There he is, number 39, as he's just going to do the flow. Now watch Chad Folk. That's 56. That's the center. He gets over. That's a nice job of staying with the man twice, not once, and getting Baranchia, allowing Avery to pick up additional yards.
19 for Avery, who came up 26 yards short of 1,000 on the year. First down, Argonauts. Avery's number called again, and he runs over Renard Cox, brought down at the 47. 4 more for Avery.
Well, what I see here, Chris, is that there is a commitment to running the football by the Argonauts right now. Nothing more than a glorified sweep. They're going to get a lead blocker with Jeff Johnson. The tight end's going to be over there, and then let that man, John Avery, find his hole. If it's outside, take it outside. If there's something inside, hey, this guy's got the speed and the cuts to make something happen back against the flow.
Renard Cox out of the game for Hamilton. Marcus Spencer checks in at that spot. 2nd and 6. Allen pumps, looks for Bruce, incomplete. Well covered by Jason Goss. And it will be 3rd down.
Well, pattern, they found success earlier in the quarter with Arlen Bruce just dragging across the middle of the football field, hoping to get a little separation with the cover man. What you see right there, there's 27. Jason Goss, step for step, right in the hip pocket, going over, not allowing Arlen Bruce to come up with a catch.
Bruce, the man who scored the touchdown. And now Craig Yeast, the other number 5 on the field, checks in as a punt returner for the first time for Hamilton. And Yeast second in all-purpose yards in the CFL this year, 1 yard behind Corey Holmes of Saskatchewan. Prefontaine looking to pin them inside the 10. Textbook stuff from Noel Prefontaine. And once again, the Ticats are backed up.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Standard Life. Keeping our word is standard.
Offensive coordinator Ken Austin.
You understand that?
It's been a rocky year for the Argos. They've got plenty of talent on paper, but the chemistry has probably been lacking because of injuries, late arrivals like that of Arlen Bruce. Jamie Barisi, the offensive coordinator for Hamilton, has got to come up with something. And Troy Davis is usually a pretty good answer across the 15.
The thing you have to remember is don't panic. I've seen a lot of times situations happen where it's not successful, and we say, forget that play, it ain't going to work. You got a guy like Troy Davis, you know you made your bread, you made your money with this guy carrying the football, you've got to keep giving the football. He's going to break one. This is the first time, I think, Chris, they've actually got good first down production.
7 for Davis, so it'll be 2nd and 3. They didn't panic 2 weeks ago when they fell behind by 28. There's a short pickup by Morreale, but enough for the first down as he's brought down by Clifford Ivory, the former Tie-Cap.
And more important, throwing the football to the sideline. I know it's a dangerous throw, but the fact is, you're in the middle of the football field. It's the same distance to the left or the right. The fact is also, you're going to spread this defense out a little bit. You can't always go between the tackles or the hash marks. You got to utilize it. You got a big field, might as well use it all.
2nd first down for Hamilton. Dangerous throw. And Don Vergilliam drops the ball. He had 6 catches in the first 8 minutes last week against Ottawa. And Pinball Clemens said to us yesterday, that 84 looks scary.
He looked scary, but he actually stopped and lost concentration on the ball because he actually thought that Ivory was going to intercept it. He was going to be in the chase mode.
That's the end of the first quarter. One dominated by the Argonauts. Greg Marshall's team's down by a touchdown.
Counting down the seconds till I'm with you again. Without you, I'm so empty. Oh, tell me when. You're so warm. You never fail to satisfy.
Introducing Tim Hortons' new beef stew in an oven-fresh bread bowl. Hearty seasoned beef, garden vegetables, and rich gravy. With a coffee and donut, just $5.59.
No, it's no problem. We'll see you at 7. Okay, great. So Mom and Dad are coming and Paul and the kids.
Well, Mrs. and Mr. Keiko coming too.
Hold on, we're keeping it small this year, right? Not like last year.
Speaking of small, Dad, we need a new tree.
I'll start with you.
Oh, look at that one.
Oh, this one I like. Comes with the lights already on it.
I love the new tree. Isn't it beautiful?
An espresso machine.
Oh, this is the new Melita coffee pod system.
You can make a custom cup of coffee or tea in about 30 seconds.
Hey!
I am so looking forward to the party.
It's just one more.
Oh, it's a wine cooler.
I thought you were having a small party this year. The holidays just seem to get a little easier when you start at Canadian Tire.
So much for keeping it small.
Well, next year there's going to be one more.
Really?
Merry Christmas.
I'll start with you.
There's a skyward look at Skydome after 1 quarter of play.
Well, it's been a defensive game as evidenced by 3 first downs each. Obviously the big factor, the penalties. The Ticats took the 30 yards in a row that allowed Toronto to go down. They completed it with a touchdown 7-yarder to Arlen Bruce to take the 7-0 lead.
Both offenses quiet. 2nd and 10, Hamilton. McManus under pressure. Overthrows Morreale. And he was in triple coverage.
And I know we pumped this offensive line, but Toronto's only bringing 5 guys. They're not bringing the house. There's only 4 coming right there, and they're getting pressure on Danny Mac. But once again, we talked about the way to beat this line, and that is to put the linemen on different levels. And doing that is by running stunts. And they're picking the other linemen, and they're getting pressure on Danny McManus. The thing that hurts it, if you got a stunt and you got a guy wrap around to the outside, and you got a running play, and it hits that open area where the lineman just vacated, it's going a long way.
Already the 5th punt of the game for Jamie Borum. Livingston dropped it, quickly recovers, and he'll be pushed out at the 51. But once again, the Argos have enjoyed great field position throughout this game. We've got Michael O'Shea wired for sound tonight. Let's listen in.
Let's go. Let's go.
Casper! wish we had a camera in the booth when Dave Hack and Wayne Shaw or Wayne Smith were taking their shots at the middle linebacker. You related to that, didn't you?
No, I don't need Viagra.
At the 51-yard line, Allen looking for Tony Miles, held up, and a penalty flag is thrown. Diedrich Mathis is going to be called, and Camus Reed better be careful. The defensive coordinator well out on the field to protest the penalty.
Well, this is a good call. The officials have taken a lot of heat in recent weeks, but the official is right on. Diedrich Mathis allows Tony Miles to get behind him, and he has to actually grab the jersey.
Hamilton 26. First down.
You're going to take a look at it. He's going to fake like he's going in, then he's going to break it up the field, and you'll see the tug on the jersey just enough to slow him down. The official's going to grab. Remember the contact. You're not allowed to have contact downfield. Now, I know, Chris, you give me that look.
I'm giving you that look.
Like I'm doing your taxes.
Boy, that happens on just about every play, doesn't it? Here's Robert Baker with the catch. And Baker inside the 25 has another Argo first down.
Well, just a situation where they drag Baker across the middle. Renard Cox, the weak side linebacker's got to stay with him. He tries to stay in the hip pocket, but Baker, who they say is the toughest, strongest player on this team, not just of the receivers, gets the job done. He's really come as he's learning how to play this slot back position. They moved him inside. He's getting better every week.
Kent Austin says he's the toughest receiver he's seen since Ray Elgard.
Wow.
That's tough.
That's a compliment.
First down, Argo's threatening, but Allen in trouble. And down he goes and dropped the ball. Wild pile up. Who's on it?
Well, Chris Martin, who had 2 sacks last week, it's a delay. This is a delayed blitz.
Ticat football.
And he comes from the halfback position, and Damon Allen does not pay him any attention because it's delayed. And as he drops back, 29 comes in there and jars the ball loose.
And Tim Cheatwood just came up with it out of that wild scrum.
Well, that is a big break for the Ticats because the Argos were marching, but there he is, 29, coming from the halfback. It's a delay. He's not lining up. He's not giving it away. That is smart football of hiding the blitz package.
And that was some battle in the trenches after Martin forced the ball loose. The defensive player of the week, Chris Martin, for his performance against the Renegades. So the Ticats get the first big turnover. And now McManus looks for Gilliam, and he is separated from the ball. Antonius Bonner, and Gilliam still down.
Well, Antonius Bonner, rocked him, and Craig East is already waving to the sideline. Let's get someone over here. And the ball is delivered. The man you mentioned that Mike Clemens, the coach of the Argonauts, fears is 84. Figures he's got the big play potential. In his 7th football game, comes across, makes the catch, but what a hit from the backside by Antonius Bonner. Just sitting back in that zone coverage, and he unloaded. Take a look. Nice job of Wayne Smith coming out, picking up Ivan on the blitz. There's the catch, and as he comes in, number 10 ready to meet him. You can hear the contact. We talked about the intensity of it, and of course you just magnify that and increase it when it's a playoff game. The stakes are just that much higher.
And Gilliam hasn't moved very much since that contact. We'll take a timeout here early in the 2nd quarter at Skydome.
So long, ordinary toothbrush. The Oral-B dental experts have created cleaning technology like nothing else on Earth. The new Oral-B Professional Care 8000. It pulsates and oscillates to loosen plaque and sweep it away. Teeth get twice as clean and dramatically whiter. Gums get stronger. Your whole mouth gets healthier. You'll never go back to an ordinary brush again. The new Oral-B Professional Care 8000. Brush like a dentist.
Hey, accidents happen. Fortunately, Moores has a wide selection of stain and wrinkle-resistant pants from brands like Lee and Dockers. Moores. Well-made, well-priced, well-dressed.
There's Craig Yeast with the football, taking a short McManus pass. We're happy to report that Gilliam just got to his feet and was able to spring off the field.
Well, we took a couple looks at it, and it looked like that when he got contacted by Antonius Bonner, that it was almost a shot to the head. That might be what kind of laid him out momentarily, as we see a little dump pass to Craig Yeast, who attempts to stretch up here that first down. They will come up short, and once again, Moram on to punt.
Well, Pinball said this guy is scary, and that was a scary hit by Antonius Bonner over the middle. Jamie Borum back in, one of the busiest Ticats so far. Arlen Bruce III at the 35 to move up the sidelines near the Argo bench. And again, the double blue with good field position. Troy Saunders forcing Bruce out of bounds.
The CFL on CBC, brought to you by General Motors and all its divisions. And by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. Wendy's, it's better here.
Wrinkle-resistant business suits from Moores, so both you and your suit arrive looking good. Moores. Well-made, well-priced, well-dressed.
Is it possible to actually get Wendy's delicious home-style chicken strips home? Those tender strips of whole seasoned breast filet just waiting to be dipped in one of our 3 tempting sauces? Yes, but why delay the joy? Try our home-style chicken strips. Wendy's, it's better here. Wendy's pickup window is open late.
Look at the playoff throng here at Skydome tonight for the Eastern semifinal. And the Argos following a familiar pattern so far, that sturdy, stout defense, setting things up for an offense that has not been in high gear, but does have 1 touchdown on the Allen to Bruce connection.
But the thing is, they've started off with great field position, and they only got 7 points to show for it. So the longer the Ticats hang in, the better.
Pitch, Avery left side. Joe Montford wraps him quickly and holds the gain to 3.
I mean, I really am very impressed with the front 4, the activity that's going on by this defensive line. Blocked at the point of attack. Again, Mike Mihalik thinks, you know, I've got him to the outside, but the quickness of Joe Montford to come back in after recognizing the cutback by Avery to wrap him up and, you know, limit his gain to 3 yards. That's a great play by Joe Montford.
3-time top defensive player in the league, 2nd and 7. Here comes Montford again. Allen outside and is nailed, but gets it away. Andre Talbot with the catch. Wrestled down by Chris Martin. It's an Argo first down. And oh, Damon Allen took a lick.
Well, we just talked about Joe Montford and how he does smart, but again, watch him come to the inside. There's nobody to the outside. Now the linebacker falls off, and he's going to come up and he's going to drill That's Baranchia. He's going to drill Damon Allen after he throws the football, or just as he's throwing it. But the fact is, there is no contain. Now, I know that Montfort likes to play the games, and he's been given free reign to rush. But sometimes, with a guy like Damon Allen, you got to make sure you got somebody in that contain spot.
17 on the gain. Avery, delay, and he's upended. Donovan Carter, an Argo draft choice, upends Avery before he can get going.
That's a nice play again by Donovan Carter going to the open spot. The defense is playing gap control. That means there's one hole that's not taken up, and that is where they meet. They do this drill in minor bantam. They line up the two bags. The back goes there. The running back goes the other place. They say pick a hole, and they have to meet. That's exactly what that was right there.
Two Canadian linebackers, Carter and Baranchia for Hamilton. It's 2nd and 7. And the pass swung out. Tony Miles nailed immediately by Jason Goss. And that will be well short to the first down. So the Ticat defense has done the job.
Well, they're blitzing. That puts them in a one-on-one situation. That's exactly what you want as we take a look at the overhead cam. They throw the football, but the thing that has drastically improved on this Ticat defense is their secondary. They are physical. They're not playing soft. They're right in the hip pocket. Look at that. As soon as the ball is caught, we wrap them up, bring them down. Biggest improvement on that team.
Goss has played just 7 games. Arabin Justin 5. Chris Martin 10. So there's 3 new DBs for Greg Marshall. He says a weakness is now a strength. And here we go. This is a bit of a surprise. Noel Prefontaine will try from 48. And he's got plenty of leg, but wide. And now we could get a return. Craig Yeast, big block on O'Shea, and Yeast is out across the 15. Mike O'Shea had Yeast lined up, but then he was unloaded on by Donovan Carter.
Coming up on this week's Good Wrench Specialist Auditions.
My dad taught me everything.
I can do an inspection better than any guy. The semi-annual...
The pressure to win the coveted position is overwhelming for some, but not for others.
The semi-annual service is the new way to maintain your GM vehicle. A visit every 6 months equals peace of mind.
Perfect. Just perfect.
All this on the next Good Wrench Specialist Auditions.
Can you find the all-star on this team? He's not the top scorer, but he's everybody's MVP, most valuable person, a hockey volunteer. You can put your local heroes first by nominating them for the RBC Local Hockey Leaders Program. Visit rbc.com for details. RBC Insurance, first for you.
Is it possible to actually get Wendy's delicious home-style chicken strips home? Those tender strips of whole seasoned breast filet just waiting to be dipped in one of our 3 tempting sauces? Yes, but why delay the joy? Try our home-style chicken strips. Wendy's, it's better here. Wendy's pickup window is open late.
Adriano Belli just got charged for roughing on Noel Prefontaine, and there's Greg Marshall in his face about this major foul.
Well, you know, it's one thing to take the kicker. Now he's hurt. He's going out. Now he's all the way out. Now look at this. Let him go. It's over. I mean, it's not the hardest hit you've ever seen, but they're going to call it every time when you still have your hands on him and driving him and you're out of bounds. Smart football. Don't hurt your team. Once again, they have to start in the deep with their own end.
Now we've talked so much about field position. Here they are back at the 8. Troy Davis out to the 12. He gets jarred hard there. Mike O'Shea in the middle of it again.
Whenever these two teams meet to do battle, it is exactly that. It is a physical, hard-hitting game. Take no prisoners. Initially, the hole's there, but look at O'Shea come in and fill some support from some of his teammates.
Kenny Wheaton stepped up. 5 for Davis. Radlin comes out. An extra receiver in, and Dondre Gilliam back in the game on 2nd and 5 as O'Shea parks defensive signals. And it's being aired out. Adrian Smith, closest man to the ball. And that looked like a sure interception.
Well, they ran a blitz, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know if Dondre Gilliam is still a little woozy. Because of the blitz, Danny McManus is going down the middle of the football field. He's expecting 84 to come inside. 84 stays to the outside, and the only guy that's got an opportunity to come up with this football is Adrian Smith. You know, you got to talk to him. If you're hurting the team, if you're a little foggy, stay on the sideline a little bit. Because if you know what we're doing, you got to be in the middle of the football field. We can have a big play.
Well, 4 of 7 Hamilton drives have started inside their 10. And again, they have to punt from their end zone. Borum. Livingston back inside his 50. Flag down. And so is Livingston near midfield.
That's a great kick by Jamie Borum from his end zone. And equally good coverage by the punt team to get down and bring down that elusive Livingston.
46-yard punt by Borum. Flag down, which is going to be marked.
Toronto 32.
Against Toronto. Chuck Winters called as Damon Allen brings the offense back out. Damon in his 27th playoff game, and there's where he ranks all time. Over 4,000 yards now. The man he passed for regular season yards, Ron Lancaster, in the building, the only man ahead of him.
Well, that's amazing when you look at that 18-year career. Ronnie Lancaster still a couple thousand yards ahead of him.
Damon has passed for his 30th touchdown in the postseason in this game. Avery, reverse field. Tim Cheatwood says, "You're not going anywhere."
Speed is fantastic, but when you have speed and strength, boy, I tell you, you have a weapon. And this Cheatwood makes the play, but it's all stopped by, again, Joe Montford. Joe Montford is not allowing himself to be blocked. That forces, again, Avery to cut back, and the hustle shown by the guy that I really think, Chris, is the defensive player of these Ticats. Tim Cheatwood makes the play.
Out of Ohio State. Another big play by Cheatwood, so it's 2nd and 13. Allen downfield overthrows Arlen Bruce III, and David Allen was punished again as he delivered the football.
Damon Allen knows exactly. He's been in this league long enough to recognize a full-out blitz. They're bringing everybody. As a result, he's got one-on-one downfield. He just sits back there and hucks it a mile, hoping that Tony Miles can run underneath this football.
So a 3rd down.
Miles, Arlen Bruce, they're all going to go deep anytime you see the blitz.
And Hamilton should get its best field position unless Prefontaine comes up with a huge kick. And he does. Over the head of East. All the way back inside the 5. Noel Prefontaine, 70 yards. And the Cats are backed up again.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. We are go. Guidance internal. Control program confirmed. 10, 9, 8, 7. Ignition sequence start. 4, 3, 2, 1. All engines running. Liftoff. We have liftoff at 8:14 in the morning.
Introducing the all-new Pontiac G6. Built for drivers.
The War Amps and the CFL, a tradition for 25 years. Carl Hilsinger was a CFL star in the 1950s. After he lost both his legs in a car accident, Carl became a counselor to child amputees. The War Amps and the CFL have been working together ever since. Their message?
Whatever game you play,
play safe.
someone wants your money. Someone's hand is always in your pocket. Still, you rescue a few dollars and put your savings in a bank beyond their reach. But are they? Most banks pay almost no interest and shrink your savings with service charges. One more hand in your pocket. ING Direct pays high interest on every dollar you save and never makes you pay a service charge. Your savings grow. Call. Save your money.
Great game here at Skydome as the Argos lead the Tiger Cats 7-0. With me, the greatest Canadian quarterback in CFL history, Russ Jackson, and he's also the committee chair of the Vanier Cup, at least the honorary. And you know, for the first time ever, the Vanier Cup's going to be held outside of Toronto in Hamilton, week after Grey Cup. And what does that mean, just to have it back in a different city and outside for the first time in 15 years?
Well, I think it's terrific. I've been one that's, I think, has talked about some of these big CIS events, the football, the basketball, should get across this country and that people really see what the student athletes can do in Canadian universities. And the Vanier Cup, November 27th in Hamilton at Avalon Stadium, is going to be a terrific event.
Well, there's going to be, certainly, it has been a surge in the popularity of the CFL. Has that translated, do you think, to the university game?
Tough to hear what you're saying down here, Brenda.
I said the CFL, there's been a surge in popularity, but has that translated to the university game?
Yeah, it's been terrific, and I think to come to Hamilton with the CFL getting its resurgence in Hamilton and in Toronto, it's going to be a great week of activities. But university football is something very special, and I think the kids see what's going on in the CFL now. They want to play there and have a chance up here.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks a lot.
DJ Fleck, who's normally sure-handed, drops that as the Ticats went vertical and looked like they had something cooking for the first time.
Well, they went vertical, but it's built off play action pass. That freezes him, the linebacker, just for a second and allows DJ Fleck to get some separation down the seam, and he's got a step right there. Goes down, tries to pick up that football off the turf. Can't come up with a catch and actually got up limping.
Flick over 1,000 yards on the season, 7th in the CFL. Should have had that. It's 2nd and 10. And McManus looks back for Flick, and it's knocked away by Michael Fletcher. And that one up for grabs. So the Argos have had their chance to add to the interception totals, but have not been able to do it yet.
They're giving him a look to make him think it's man coverage, and he's following Flick down, and then they drop into a zone. They come off that, and as he goes across, he just falls back. Fletcher does in his drop from the linebacking position, almost comes up with a big interception. It's one of those things that Danny figures there'll be a hole. It's not there, and the closest to the ball was Michael Fletcher, number 2 of the Argonauts.
Bourne for his 8th punt of the game. Arlen Bruce strung out, brought down. Good tackle on the play by Sandy Beveridge to contain Arlen Bruce. Well, this spring, thousands of Canadian hockey hopefuls tried out to make their dreams come true. 68 battling it out for the ultimate goal. One of 6 tryouts with an NHL team making the cut, presented by Bell, Tuesday, 8 o'clock on CBC.
You know, when I sent my my audition tape in, I thought maybe there was an opportunity. I sat by the phone for a while, never rang.
Can't believe the old Manitoba junior star, or star. There's Allen, downfield, Tony Miles got loose. The ball didn't arrive.
Well, the Ticats are very fortunate because that ball is overthrown. Chris Martin just slipped on the turf, and Tony Miles was wide open behind him down the sideline. You can see he just turns, and that's just because of a broken coverage. That's what that is. Chris Martin does not realize that is his man, and by the time he realizes it, he falls over. Big break for the Ticats on that overthrown pass to Miles.
So 2nd and 10 at the Toronto 45. Here comes the blitz. Allen downfield, overthrows Arlen Bruce.
The pressure may not be getting to Damon Allen, but it is forcing him to overthrow his intended receivers. That's serving the purpose just as well, because on this play, much like the last play, both receivers were wide open. These are just a simple case of the ball being overthrown as he feels footsteps not only from behind, from the side, and he sees attackers in his face. See John Avery working against Joe Monfort, getting helped by the big tackle, John Fugel. You got to put two guys on Big Joe sometimes.
So the Ticats pressure that led to a tie in quarterback sacks for the lead in the CFL with Saskatchewan cranked up again tonight. Prefontaine, the game's 13th punt, and another blast. East puts it on the turf. And he is swarmed as he crosses the 15. 53 yards on that kick by Prefontaine, who led the league in punts, and the Argos led in net punts because they've got a great coverage team.
Well, that's exactly it. Their covered team takes pride in that. When you're number one, you know you don't get your name mentioned. You're one of 11 guys that are down the field covering. But when you got a guy, and you got to remember this, Chris, when you got a guy with the leg strength of Prefontaine, I mean, he's going to kick this ball a mile. Now, these guys got to be disciplined, stay in their lanes. Look at them staying in their lanes. That's Williams, number 11, heading up to the football. It's exactly Srochenski, Marius, who led the CFL special teams tackles. They're all there.
From the 17, the quick hitter, Morreale, the possession man in this Hamilton offense, the former Argo and a top Canadian in the CFL, Mike Morreale, with a catch at the 23. 7 for the Cats on first down.
Good first down production, getting that ball quickly out now. I'm going to tell you, from watching this defense so far, Chris, I see a very aggressive Argonaut defense who might bite on a pump and fake, or a pump and go, if you like to call it that.
Approaching the 3-minute warning. 2nd and 3. They'll get the first down. Tunkara in for Dondre Gilliam. Up to the 38-yard line. 14 for Tunkara, as the Cats still looking for their first points of the first half.
Most new models come with minor changes, a tweak here, an adjustment there. So when we crafted the new Buick Allure, we decided to change only 2 things, the interior and the exterior. Introducing the new Buick lineup, the Allure, Rainier, and Terraza. The next chapter in our heritage of award-winning quality, and something totally unexpected from Buick.
This holiday season, Tim Allen is putting a whole new face.
I got Botox.
On Christmas. On November 24th, grab the tree.
Are you sure this isn't illegal?
Are you a cop?
String the lights. Ooh. And hide the cat. Tim Allen. Jamie Lee Curtis. Christmas with the Cranks.
Your face. It's like it's frozen or something.
In theaters November 24th.
Wendy's has a simply delicious way for chicken lovers to enjoy chicken. Our home-style chicken strips. Strips done Wendy's way. They're 3 big, tender pieces of juicy breaded whole season breast filet flavored with our own blend of home-style seasonings. Delicious by themselves or dipped in one of our 3 tasty sauces. Creamy Heartland Ranch, Deli Honey Mustard, or spicy Southwest Chipotle. Wendy's home-style chicken strips. It's better here. And our pickup window is open late.
2:50 to go in the first half, and then Sean Millington, Greg Frères, Darren Flutie, and Brian Williams will take over and weigh in on this first half of play. And the history of excellence will feature Bill Simons, the great Argo running back. Noisy Skydome, a defensive battle, as you can tell from that line. And there may be concern in the Hamilton camp about their depth at receiver, with Dondre Gilliam on the sidelines after that huge hit, and we've yet to hear from Archie Amerson. So dangerous a threat for 14 games, but coming off knee surgery, is he healthy? We might find out here. Archie Amerson with a burst, and on cue to the Argo 50.
Well, you know what? You are the master. I mean, you called it exactly. We're up here wondering where number 9 is going to start contributing, or really, is he healthy right now? We know he has some left knee troubles. He ran hard in practice, said, I'm ready to go, but really hasn't been utilized much in this opening half, but gets a little reverse, gets to the outside, puts a little burst on, and that's their biggest play of the game.
14 games, 894 yards receiving, so he would have been a 1,000-yard man with a full campaign. Davis strung out. Bonner looks for him, and he's finished off by the backside pressure of Jonathan Brown. And they have swarmed Troy Davis tonight.
Well, it doesn't matter where they've tried to attack with number 32. The double blue of the Argonauts have met the challenge, whether it be inside or the outside. They've limited the gains of the CFL's leading rusher, making yardage tough to come by for Troy Davis.
7 carries, 27 yards on the night. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. 4 receivers wide side. McManus underneath, picked off. Kevin Ivan, the top defensive player, the outstanding Canadian, has the interception as McManus threw it up for grabs.
Danny Mack is a great football player, but not here. This is a very, very poor decision. He's going to sit back there. They bring the blitz, Fletcher from the outside. Jonathan Brown, Noah Cantor get a little pressure. As he's going back, he decides, I'm going to try and put it to a certain area anyway. Craig Yeast is nowhere near there. The only guy that's close to that football is Kevin Ivan. Poor decision. I mean, you need your leader, your guy back there, the quarterback, to make proper decisions. That's just a bad decision by Danny McManus.
In the 2 wins by Toronto over Hamilton, 10 takeaways by the Argos, and they get a big one here. Andre Talbot, who scored his first touchdown against Hamilton on Labor Day. And there is Kevin Ivan at 215 pounds, a defensive demon.
Well, it's hard to believe because you look at him, he's 215. He's a little pencil neck. He's not big, but you know what? He's got instinct, boy. I tell you, when he's on the football field, a lot of his tackles, he is hustling. His motor never stops.
Former high school quarterback who says he can read these offenses in a flash. Flags down as Miles stretched out for the first down. He'll be close, but let's sort out these penalties.
Well, defense once again has to come up big for the Ticats as they're going to call offside on the Argonauts. Obviously, one of the receivers has left a little early before the snap of the football. But Kevin Ivan with his interception.
Offside. Toronto 18. 2nd down repeated.
Well, Soward offside, but Kevin Ivan, he's just at the top right there. He's just going to jump off. That's the 9th interception of the Argos on Hamilton Ticat quarterbacks this season.
R.J. Soward offside, so it's 2nd down over. And 11. And Allen, incomplete. Behind Andre Talbot. And the passing yardage minuscule in this first half. McManus was 61, Allen was 64.
Well, and the thing that's interesting, this is a 3-man rush. This is 3 defensive linemen against 5 offensive linemen, and they're getting pressure on Damon Allen, forcing him to throw that football earlier than he wants. On the other side of the coin, we're seeing the Argos going against a good Ticat O-line, and they're getting pressure with 4. I don't know what's happening to the O-lines today, but they're not going to be watching films tomorrow with a lot of smiles so far.
Rare harsh criticism from this booth for the Buffet boys. And with 91 seconds to go in the half, the Ticats are going to get the football with a chance to get on even terms. Jason Goss, Randy Straczynski, a sure tackle at the 21. Another big Prefontaine punt to 53 yards. Now, Danny Mack has been starting from a deficit position throughout this first half.
And a lot of times it's not his fault. They've taken bad penalties that have pushed them back into the shadow of their own goalpost. But you take a look at that. I mean, that's not something you want to see as an offensive coordinator. And I'm sure Jamie Barisi is going to have a nice talk with this offense at halftime. Punting every time except for the last one they had an interception.
And look at the starting position, the 35-yard line, their best.
Yeah, this should be interception here.
There is Jamie Barisi. Worked at Central Florida, Penn State. Joked earlier this year when they weren't running the ball that Joe Paterno wouldn't like his offense. He would with Troy Davis now. And Davis across the 25-yard line. But it was a wide open vertical attack for the first 4 or 5 games. After they got shut down by the Argos early in the season, they decided to develop the running game around Davis. And going into this game, you thought they had a pretty balanced attack, but nothing seemed to be working.
You have to have a balanced attack. You cannot live off the big play. I mean, it's a hit and miss situation. Yeah, you may get a couple during the game, but what about the other 65 plays you're going to run?
Gilliam back in. Davis on second down, and he won't get back to the line of scrimmage.
This Argo defense is fired up. They are getting penetration at the point of attack. You know what? I've seen these guys play the Argonauts defense, and they've made tackles 10 yards deep. Was the first time they contacted the ball carrier. Today, they are in the backfield. They are playing this football game in the backfield of the Ticats. Look at the penetration. That's exactly what you want. Ivan again, the man, number 35, the human dart, underneath the blocker, making the play.
3 games this year, Ivan with 20 tackles against the Ticats. And Ivan called timeout, and the Argos now are going to be set up with just under a minute to play to enhance this first half lead. As again, Borum into punt, and Livingston back. Jamie Borum does a great job. Huge kick there. And let's see if they can contain Livingston. Yes. Out at the 24. And that's a 61-yard punt. Good defense and good kicking games right now.
And you know what? You gotta love this story. They talked about Jamie Borum and they said, you know, you're going to be kicking against the legend. Noel Prefontaine, known for the strong leg.
The Walby Warrior.
Yeah, Walby Warrior. He does it all. I mean, downfield making tackles. And he says, you know what? He says, I want to just go out there and hopefully I can play as well as he can. I feel that I'm a strong kicker. I'm very confident in my own ability. Well, he's matched him. I mean, and a lot more pressure, Chris, because he's been kicking from his own end zone or pretty close to it on a lot of plays.
Now, 45 seconds to go here in the first half. And does that kick change the approach of the Argos on this final first half drive? Allen's going to throw, pumps, doesn't change at all, going deep. Talbot's got it. Andre Talbot, the Wilfrid Laurier product, beating Arab and Justin.
Arab and Justin bit on the pump fake. I've been talking a lot about that from the other side of the ball with the Ticats. Damon Allen, wonderful example of getting the corner to bite on the out route. And then Talbot just keeps going downfield. Sheenwood, very fortunate not to get a late hit on that after he brushes by Damon Allen. But you know what? If you want to win this football, Chris, I think you have to play aggressive. It's exactly what they did.
37 yards. Down to the Hamilton 48. Getting close to Prefontaine range. Allen, Miles. Tony Miles. Another first down at the 37.
And you saw the kick. Great kick by Borum, pinning the Argos deep. The last thing you want to have done, because everybody on the Ticat sideline, the teams are saying, you know what, at least we got one thing going good, our defense. Now, the worst thing that can happen is for the Argos to go downfield and push a score in on the Ticat defense. And you see that Adriano Belli is down, and this is probably a timeout that's a little bit orchestrated so they can, one, get a breath, it's hot in here, and two, make sure they're all on the same page on their defensive signals. We do know that he does have a calf injury, Chris.
Yeah, we were joking with Mike Campbell, former Ticat and Argo, before the game. He did this periodically in the '99 Grey Cup. After the game, I apologized, speculating he was just trying to take a timeout when he sold me. I thought he was hurt. And after the game, when I apologized, he said, no, I was just trying to get timeouts for don't worry about it. And so you wonder here, we do know Belly has the calf problem. But we also know that in a lot of passing situations, he comes out, Hitchcock goes in, and they might just try to be getting that defense set.
Well, I think it's a smart play, especially since the momentum is definitely with the Argo offense right now.
.32 seconds remaining in the first half as Allen waits for time to be whistled in. First down, Toronto. Allen, lots of time. Oh, almost picked by Augie Baranchia. The kid from Calgary got his mitts on it, couldn't bring it in.
Well, Baranchia, great recognition of reading the quarterback's eyes. That's all it says. Hey, Allen's sitting back. He knows where he wants to go with the football. 39 just follows the eyesight. The pattern, exactly where he's looking, gets there, and he needs to scoop up that football to kill the drive, but a nice play nonetheless by 39.
Heck, he scoops that football up. We might be tied. 2nd and 10. Allen looked one way, now the other. And underthrows Miles, who was open momentarily over the middle.
Well, Tony Miles did his part of running around, readjusting the route, trying to find something after the quarterback was flushed. Found a little hole in the coverage, but Damon Allen could not find him. He's going to sit, try a little pump fake over to the right side again, comes back away from the pressure, throws the ball kind of half slingshot sidearm, but away from the intended receiver.
So Prefontaine, we were surprised when he tried from 48. Like Clemens said with the injury, that he wouldn't test him too deep. Also out of respect for Yeast, who can return them, and did a week ago. This from 43. And Prefontaine is good. And the Argos expand their lead to 10.
Well, you know, and we've heard all along about the oblique muscle pull by Noel Prefontaine, the fact that he doesn't know how far he can kick from. All I've seen so far is a masterful job punting the football and good strength on his attempted field goals. He missed the first one. This one, he's got a lot of leg on it. Goes through, and they got a 10-0 lead, and I tell you, it's been all Argos.
What Prefontaine did say yesterday is that I'm not kicking it as far, but I haven't had the adrenaline rush of a game yet. And the adrenaline levels look like they're pretty high down there. So the Ticats will just kill these final 9 seconds and regroup at halftime. They have been shut down so far tonight.
Well, they have got to get their game plan going, their offense going, because their defense has done a good job holding the Argos to only 10 points.
And so ends the opening 30 minutes of football. And in typical Hamilton-Toronto style, it was a black and blue first half. And the double blue have the lead as we join Brenda.
Well, Mike Clemens' team leads by 10 at the half, and your defense sure played like a house on fire. What was the key to their success against Danny Mac?
Well, I think the key is the preparation that they put in during the week. They worked so hard. They came in Saturday on a voluntary meeting, a players' call meeting, and began to watch film, and they're just such a dedicated group.
What's your message to them at the half?
Well, we left some points on the field. We had great field position the whole first half. I think it's important for us to establish field position with the first kickoff return of the second half. Get points early. We need to get the first points of the second half.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Mike Clemens and his team ahead here at Skydome after one half of play. It's Toronto leading Hamilton 10-0 in this Eastern semifinal matchup.
History of Excellence. Brought to you by Nissan.
He was simply one of the best backs to ever play in this city. Bill Simons is an Argonaut legend. Out of the University of Colorado, he played 7 seasons with the Boatmen, turning around a team that had not made the playoffs in 5 years. The 1968 Most Outstanding Player still holds the record for the longest rush from scrimmage in playoff history, 100 yards against Hamilton. He's a Colorado Buffalo that made his home and future in Southern Ontario. And just a reminder, 68 players battle it out for the ultimate goal, one of only 6 tryouts with a Canadian NHL team. That is if and when they come back from the lockout. A long road to NHL glory, making the cut, presented by Bell this Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, 8:30 in Newfoundland here on CBC. And 3 of the players there, Darrell Levy, Anthony Marshall, and Troy Kaler, here in attendance tonight at Skydome. Part of this crowd of just under 40,000, the Argonauts with a 10-point lead at halftime. We'll take a break. Chris Cuthbert and Chris Walby with a play-by-play of the second half. You're watching the Eastern semifinal, the CFL on CBC.